News up here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Asiedu Dartey. Let's bring you the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
EcoBank.
Tonight, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association calls for arrest of the third vice national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Masawood, for threatening media general reporters.
Another fatal accident in Ayisha in Ashanti region kills 8 hours after a deadly crash in Amanase, claiming 11 lives on the same stretch.
Ghana Armed Forces reiterates unwavering commitment to safeguarding lives of civilians and protecting property in Boko.
In business news, Ghana Chamber of Mines hailed Diamond Mine Cession Agreement between government and Goldfield, citing job preservation and investor confidence boost.
On the international front, U.S. Senior Advisor for Africa, Masad Bolus, says President Donald Trump values Africa despite announcing sweeping aid cuts. We have details of all these stories, plus entertainment, business, and sports all coming up.
In our very first story, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jumfor, has called on the Ghana Police Service to cause the arrest of NPP Vice National Chairman Alhaji Masawood for threatening comments against media general reporters. We'll bring you the story later on, but let's now go to the Ashanti region, where there's been an accident just hours after a deadly crash in Amanase, claiming 11 lives. Another fatal accident occurred at Ayisha in the Ashanti region, leaving 8 people dead. The head-on collision between a Mercedes Sprinter bus and a VIP Grand Bird bus occurred along the Bekwai-Fomena Highway.
Preliminary assessment by the Road Safety Authority indicates that the Sprinter bus carrying 23 passengers from Kumasi to Asimfosu attempted to overtake a Toyota Corolla, but instead collided head-on with an oncoming VIP Grand Bird bus traveling from Takoradi to Kumasi. The impact forced the VIP bus to veer off the road, tragically striking and killing 2 female pedestrians, a 16-year-old and a 4-year-old sister. 6 passengers aboard the Sprinter bus, including 4 men and 2 women, died on the spot. Several others, including the VIP bus driver, sustained serious injuries and were rushed to Fomena Government Hospital and St. Benito Hospital in Dompati. The bodies of the deceased have since been deposited at Ademra Peaceland Mortuary for autopsy and identification. This latest tragedy comes amid growing concerns over reckless overtaking and speeding on Ghana's highways. The Road Safety Authority has reiterated calls for stricter enforcement of traffic laws to prevent further loss of lives. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Ashanti Radio.
Now, 5 persons have been injured in a 2-day clash between Domiabra and Denchira, people in the South Municipality of the Greater Accra region. The fighting, according to sources, is as a result of a dispute over a piece of land. That's more in the following report.
The fighting began on Tuesday evening at the outskirts of the Domiabra community. There were gunshot exchanges, leading to the injuring of multiple persons. One of the injured, after an initial treatment at a local health facility, was transferred to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra. A reprisal attack on Wednesday morning at the exact spot also led to 2 persons sustaining machete wounds. One of them, whose injury was severe, was transferred to the University of Ghana Medical Center, also in Accra, for advanced treatment. Here is an account of an injured person.
I
was going to Kaswa with my brother. We were accosted by some guys when we got to Domiabra. They questioned us about yesterday's event and began assaulting us. They inflicted machete wounds on us. We want the police to handle this matter properly to prevent any future escalation.
Police know they say almost stop issue na eba danger ni Domiabra. Enya sa ebema ntoko more ntoko beba.
Several businesses in the area were impacted. Residents say they are terrified.
Yesterday, even around 7 o'clock, it was light out. Recently, we see some boys started shooting guns in front of my choba. So I closed around 7:30 and go home. So this morning, I came this morning. They said they will not allow us to cook. Even the soup on the fire, they take the soup and go and throw it away. At the same time, I prepare my cassava finish. They said they will not allow us to do the choba. In front of my place, we have about 3 stores. They go and close all the stores that they don't want anybody to do work this morning. Then I asked them why they are doing us to. They say unless we go to police station. So I called the MP this morning. He told me that he haven't heard anything about it. So he will call the police to come and see it. So the police people came here this morning. I told them they said you should do the work. Me too, I'm afraid because if I do the work right, I don't know what will happen next.
An existing dispute over a half plot of land has been cited as the cause of the incident. A chief from Domiabra, who spoke to TV3 News, wants police to handle the matter in a manner that would put the dispute to a perpetual rest.
Five. So the two can on the Pabako. And I follow you 5.
We want the police to handle the matter. We don't want any further escalations. We want the police to be fair. This is not the first time such incident is happening. We've always been reserved because we want unity. We are terrified because even this morning, an Okada rider from this community was attacked at Danjira. It makes us feel unsafe, which is why we want the police to handle the matter more diligently. The development has caused police to intensify their operations in the enclave. The team led by Superintendent Eric Amponsa has been able to restore calm in the area while pledging to have the main culprits apprehended. For TV3 News, Akwesi Ado, Domiabra.
In more news tonight, a new proposal to revise the 25-year age limit for Okada riders to 21 has been tabled before Cabinet. The Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari-Nitbe, says the age limit, which triggered uproar among Okada riders, has necessitated a delay in laying the bill before the Subsidiary Legislation Committee.
Government is in the process of regularizing the Okada and tricycle business as an alternative mode of transport in the country. The initiative is expected to create jobs for the youth, while ensuring that riders are sensitized to uphold all road traffic regulations. Currently, captains in the transport industry have been engaged and their input captured to help shape the course of the Okada business. However, some Okada riders and patrons expressed displeasure following the announcement that the minimum age for operating in the business had been pegged at age 25.
When you are looking at the 25 age challenge, a number of people that are going to sit home, it's going to be a whole lot. Maybe the government should check through that. The age is 25, it's not easy, bro.
A whole lot of young guys are doing this business. But what we do, or what we say to the government, that I should look at the age differences, whereby at least 20 is cool. But at 25, there's going to be a whole lot of problem for the guys.
In response to these concerns, the Ministry of Transport has shifted its stance to incorporate the feedback from riders. Transport Minister Joseph Bukari-Nitbe said discussions with Cabinet have advanced, with strong indications that the age limit will be reduced to 21.
The age limit that we were looking at 25, but others felt that it was too high. But our laws indicates that before you can do any commercial business, you should be age 25. And we cannot take off Okada riders alone out of that law. And so it has taken us back for me to prepare and send another amendment. And so I have presented it to Cabinet for us to look at how we will look at the age in general for commercial purposes and bring it down from 25 to 21.
President of the Fellows of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Cletus Kuzagbe, proposed an intervention.
There are certain areas Okadas don't go there, like the CBD area, which is our busy areas. They don't need to go there. Only certain vehicles are allowed to go there. Government motorcycles might be allowed to drop latest using the highway, but not private ones. So we could look at some of these things to see how we can restrict them to some areas and they can operate and be happy. While the areas which are busy areas, they are taken off so that traffic will flow in some of the areas. All these things can be looked at.
The proposed amendment marks a significant step in balancing youth employment opportunities with public safety and regulatory oversight. As the process moves forward, all stakeholders hope for a regulatory framework that safeguards both riders and passengers while easing the country's urban transport burden. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, the government of Ghana and Goldfields Ghana Limited have reached an agreement on a transitional arrangement for the Damang mine aimed at ensuring operational continuity and long-term sustainability. A release issued in Accra and signed by the Minister for Government Communication, Felix Kwakye-Fosu, said as part of the agreement, a new 12-month mining lease will be issued to Aboso Goldfields Limited, a subsidiary of Goldfields, while awaiting parliamentary ratification in May 2025. This move will allow for resumption of open pit mining during the transition period, helping to safeguard jobs and support local livelihoods. In addition to active mining, the processing of existing stockpiles will continue under the oversight of a joint management team comprising representatives from the Government of Ghana and Goldfields. The team will also conduct feasibility studies to assess Damang's mineral reserve and extend the mine's operational life, the release indicated.
In more news tonight, President John Mahama has nominated Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives for the Greater Accra region, and all 29 persons were appointed to serve a 4-year term. Also nominated are DCEs for Bole Bamboy in the Savannah region and Ate Bamanten in the Bono East region. Let's now bring you some notable districts and their DCEs as well as MMDCEs. For Tema Metropolitan, we have Ebi Bright. She was the NDC parliamentary candidate in the 2024 elections. For Accra Metropolitan, Michael Pato Alote, Paul Afotekwe for Crowell and Ignatius Godfred Dodoi for Shai Osudoku. For Bole Bamboy, Abdullahi Mahmoud, Ina Sharman, Freeman Chetu, Ella Esinam Nongo for Adenta, and Haruna Mohammed Awal Ayawaso North. So these are all parts of 29 nominees for various metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives positions across the country, as announced in a statement released today and signed by the Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Still News 360, let's stay with the presidency because the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, has appointed Dr. Abubakar Bawa Abdullahi, a senior official at the University of Development Studies, UDS, as the new Chief Executive Officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. His appointment follows the dismissal of Dr. Adam Atiku following an altercation with the Minister for Health recently. The new CEO, Dr. Abubakar Bawa Abdullahi, is a native of Karaga in the northern region.
Over 2 million schoolgirls are expected to benefit from the distribution of free sanitary pads across the country. The exercise, which would commence soon, is the fulfillment of the Mahama-led administration to enhance the livelihood of young girls and promote quality education in Ghana. There's more in this report by Ayisha.
Procurement processes for the historic distribution of sanitary pads to every school-going girl in Ghana have been completed to kickstart the initiative.
After the launch tomorrow by His Excellency the President, it is our expectation that regional ministers and district chief executives will carry out the launch in their respective regions and districts. It is our estimation that slightly above 2 million girls, both in basic and secondary.
According to the Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Clement Abbas Apak, all measures have been put in place to monitor the distribution of the sanitary pads to basic and senior high schools.
Regional and district directors of education are tasked to monitor and report on the distribution to the schools.
The Education Ministry is partnering the Gender Ministry to launch the free sanitary pad distribution program on April 24. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namomulati, said the initiative is to promote menstrual hygiene among girls and empower young Ghanaian girls.
This initiative is to contribute to the national development of girls in education, and it is likely to have educated girls contributing positively to economic growth, social development, and poverty reduction in Ghana.
The government in the 2025 budget allocated 292.4 million Ghana cedis to commence the distribution of free sanitary pads to female students in primary and senior high schools. Ekia Ofriwadako, TV3 News.
Let's go to one of our headline stories we have for you this evening. And the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jumfor, has called on the Ghana Police Service to cause the arrest of the New Patriotic Party's third vice national chairman, Alhaji Masawood, for threatening comments that he made against Media General reporters. Alhaji Masawood threatened to assault journalists from Media General if they turn up at events or engagements organized by the NPP.
Fortunately, we cannot.
Following the loss of the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 elections, the party directed its members against engaging with Media General. During a press conference on Wednesday, April 16, third vice national chairperson of the NPP knocked off a microphone belonging to TV3 and at a later time defended his actions that reporters from the media house will be assaulted.
This is a warning to the Media General. This is a warning to TV3. They should stay away from the New Patriotic Party. Anywhere we are having our program, and we are very lucky. The next time they joke in our program,
reacting to the development, President of the Ghana Journalists Association condemned the actions of the party executive.
Its actions and comments are not only a threat to human life, they are also a threat to the lives of the rule of law and our democracy. We condemn them in no uncertain terms and called on the NPP third national vice chairman to withdraw its reckless comment and apologize for same. If the NPP third national vice chairman fails to withdraw those reckless comments and threats, we shall hold him responsible for any attack on TV3 reporter or reporters at the party's program or anywhere close to the party's office. We call on the Inspector General of Police and his team to immediately invite or cause for the arrest of the NPP third national vice chairman.
Albert Jumfor also hinted that efforts were underway to go to ECOWAS regarding the murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Swale and assault on journalist reporter Latif Idris.
We wish to repeat our resolve to proceed to the ECOWAS Community Courts of Justice to seek resolution of this matter. We are also prepared to take similar action in respect of our colleague and brother, Lateef Idrisu case. We are aware of the recent court hearing that subjected our brother to some cross-examination and interrogation.
To the labor front, where tension is building in Ghana's education sector as the Ghana National Association of Teachers has given the Ghana Education Service until April 30 to resolve its concerns. This follows unresolved concerns over delayed promotion of more than 1,000 teachers. General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Tanko Musa, spoke to our Labour Affairs correspondent, Daniel Opoku, in Accra.
3 weeks ago, NAT leadership raised concerns about the Public Service Commission's failure to act on pending promotions. Efforts to resolve the matter through engagement to the Ghana Education Service and the Public Service Commission have yielded no results. General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Tanko Musa, said while some senior officers have been promoted, junior-ranked teachers have been left behind. The delay, according to NAT, has sparked frustration and growing anger within the teaching fraternity. The association is now calling the Ministry of Education and all stakeholders to intervene urgently before the situation disrupts teaching and learning nationwide.
We are saying that there is fire on the mountain. At this particular time, the teachers of this country are not happy. The lower ranks since 2019, teachers have not been promoted. Since 2019, when we went to the Public Services Commission, we were told that only 2 regions have been done. When will the rest be done? When will the rest be done? The scheme of service is also pending. Upgrading issues also pending. Why? 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 Why must it always be like that?
With just days to the deadline, pressure is mounting for swift action to avoid a full-blown shutdown of schools across the country.
The Public Services Commission and the Ghana Education Service up to the ending of this month.
Just 5 working days.
It doesn't matter. They can do something. The Public Services Commission and then the Ghana Education Service, they have to the ending of this month. Like I have told you, they have done some of the work. They have done some of the work. We acknowledge that. But the rest, they must get it done as soon as possible.
The Ghana Armed Forces has reiterated its unwavering commitment to safeguarding the lives of civilians and protecting property in Boko as part of its broader mandate to ensure peace and stability in the region. This assurance was given by the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Lawrence Kweku Betanu, during a press briefing following a working visit to the conflict-prone area. Addressing the media after, Major General Betanu strongly condemned the recurring incidents of violent unrests and reaffirmed the military's dedication to restoring calm. Upper East Regional Correspondent Castro Senyala was with the Chief of Army Staff when he got on the ground and his tour of some of the key areas, and he's joined us for a quick conversation on what must have happened during his arrival. Castro, good evening. Thank you for your time. First of all, tell us what the Chief of Army Staff did on his first day after arriving in Boko.
Yes, good evening, Martin. We've just returned from that tour to the barracks where I'm currently giving the live report. Yes, the Army Chief of Defense, sorry, the Chief of Army Staff actually arrived in the later part of the day where he toured very key areas within the Boko area. First of all, he paid a courtesy call on the Boko Naba, where he's been, he called and asked for the assistance of the Boko Naba to help to bring the situation under control. He spoke of the need for the Transitional Council to collaborate with the security agencies, especially the military, to arrest the situation, which is becoming very worrying to everybody, including the armed forces, who have the responsibility to restore peace and orderliness as far as bringing the conflict to a stop is concerned. Later on, the Chief of Army Staff also visited some outposts of the army, especially at Avengo, where one of the soldiers was slain. There, he spoke with the men on the ground, asked them to be very committed to their work. He also told them to refrain themselves from things that would get them, implicated as far as the conflict is concerned, and also assuring that the military high authority or the military high hierarchy in the Accra or the command would also do what they can as far as assuring that they are able to discharge their duties is concerned.
Castro, we also know that his visit actually comes on the back of a visit by the IGP himself. So what is the current situation beyond the visit of these high-profile security chiefs?
Right, so we arrived to a very peaceful Boku. Everything was okay. We went through the town and everyone was going about their duties. Peace, I would say relative peace has been restored. There weren't any signs of disturbances the night before or the day before the visit of the Chief of Army Staff. In fact, everything was okay. And when he actually paid the call to the Bokunaba, like I stated earlier on, he emphasized the need for the national authority to, work closely with the armed forces to see how best they can arrest the situation. He also condemned the recent unrests unequivocally and said that the military was not happy about it and it would not, restrain itself as far as dealing with those who cause trouble is concerned. He also said that the military would continue to carry out operations that would help them to retrieve guns and ammunition and also to arrest perpetrators who would continue to cause trouble. And he also added that it was important to let those who have made up their mind to foment trouble to know that the military will soon come after them, and it was important that they refrain from any actions that would further throw the Boku municipality into chaos.
Right. So
let's listen to what he had to say.
Right. Okay. So let's listen to what he's been saying.
As you may know, the conflict between the two contending sides in Boku has persisted for years. The Ghana Armed Forces, in collaboration with the other security agencies, have been managing the crisis over the years, and we remain steadfast in our commitment to restoring peace and security to Boku. We have witnessed an escalation of the conflict in the past few months. This has led to indiscriminate killings in the area to the extent that even security personnel had been targeted. The Ghana Armed Forces condemns all the killings and the cowardly acts in no uncertain terms. To tackle the hostilities and address the carnage, our troops on the ground have been working tirelessly to enforce the curfew, conduct patrols and escorts, protect key installations in order to prevent further clashes. We have also carried out some special operations.
Right, and Castro, we know that upon his visit to the Bokunaba, he also spoke and gave his assurance to the Chief of Army Staff. What exactly did he say beyond that?
Right, so the Bokunaba spoke through his spokesperson, David Adoliba, and he was of the view that the military was doing so well. But before then, he sent words of condolences to the military following the killing of the military officer in the Boku municipality. And then he also expressed the gratitude of the traditional area for the partnership that the military was looking for so that they see how best they can bring the situation under control. They also raised a few concerns concerning the operations of the military, especially during escorts, where he raised the issue that during escorts, the military vehicles on the road usually caused accidents within the Boku enclave or the Boku highway. And so the traditional authority was of the view that the military should know how to go about that so that people don't get knocked down by the military vehicles during the performances of their right duties or the discharge of their duties. They also assure that they will work in collaboration with the military as far as restoring peace into Boku is concerned.
Right, Castro, thank you very much for that report from the visit of the Chief of Army Staff to the Boku enclave, all in the name of ensuring that peace returns to the area.
In more news tonight, an Accra High Court has remanded 41 accused persons for their alleged involvement in Galamsey activities at the Tano and Subi rivers in the western region. The police on Tuesday announced that special operations to crack down on illegal mining on April uncovered several persons taking part in various forms of alleged illegalities at the site. Lord Edwasari reports.
The 41 individuals, consisting 4 women and 8 Chinese nationals, have been charged with undertaking a mining operation without a license, possession of firearms and ammunition without lawful authority, and pollution of water. The accused persons were arraigned before the court in 2 sets, comprising 29 suspects and 8 Chinese nationals, while the second involved 4 women. The prosecution indicated that 3 pump-action guns together with 310 live BB ammunition, a black bag containing 157,000 Ghana cedis, and 5 small transparent sachets containing yellow substances suspected to be gold nuggets were found in the possession of one of the suspects, Michael Jedu Ayisha. Presiding Judge Kizito Na Kowa Kwashi directed the lawyers of the first set to file their bail applications by April 24 and ordered the prosecution to file their opposing documents by April 28. They are to reappear before the court on April 30. With regards to the second set of 12 accused persons consisting of the 4 women, the court gave the same orders but adjourned proceedings to May 2. The prosecution also disclosed to the court that 17 excavators, 1 bulldozer, 4 motorbikes, 3 vehicles, 4 pump-action guns, 4 pump-action guns, 1 single-barrel gun, 54 live BB cartridges, and 8 pumping machines were retrieved at the site during the raid. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
You're still live on TV3. This is News 360. Stay with us. We have business, sports, entertainment coming right after this.
I love President Charcoal. Why?
When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles. For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal. Pepsodent.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just 1 coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love Flamingo paint because it gets small paints that paint huge area, meaning more profit for me. Great value for money.
As an architect, Flamingo paint, with its well-researched and solid composition, guarantees durability for all my buildings.
Flamingo paint, superior hiding, superior coverage, superior durability. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friend, Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friend, me once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car. Yeah.
Captain
Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friend, Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Tum preko.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy, chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm the rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency.
Poverty makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father?
Now that he's coming closer to the community,
My puppy go figure your own plans, so I go figure my own.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN.
Still News 360 on TV3. Time now for business, and we have Michael joining us in a tad to let us know what's happening. Hello, Michael.
Hi, guys. Happy birthday.
I didn't expect that. Yeah, thank you. You're looking sharp.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so we know that government says it's reached some transitional agreement with Damang Mines.
Exactly. They've given them a one-year extension to finalize the transition, and the Chamber of Mines is quite happy with it.
Okay. All right. So give us those details.
All right. Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, the Ghana Chamber of Mines has commended the government for its transition agreement with Goldfields regarding the Daman mine, citing its potential to boost investor confidence. Acting Chief Executive Ahmed Natogma emphasized that the agreement promotes fairness and transparency.
In a move aimed at preserving jobs and stabilizing operations at the Daman mine, government and Goldfields Ghana have agreed on a one-year transitional arrangement for the site. The operational modalities of the transition involve issuing a new 12-month mining lease to Goldfields subsidiary Abosu Goldfields Limited, pending parliamentary ratification in May 2025. Under the new arrangement, Goldfields will resume open-pit mining during the transition period, safeguarding jobs and conducting feasibility studies to establish Daman's reserves and mine life, a move which has been lauded by the Ghana Chamber of Mines.
That was what the Chamber was saying at the beginning, that there need to be more discussions and better engagements. So we'll just look at what will happen in the transition. Hope that in the end it will be a win-win for both the country and also for investors. And also assure investors that Ghana is still open for business and that no matter what the issues are, it can be discussed and resolved amicably.
The statement indicates that the processing of existing stockpiles will continue under the supervision of a joint management team composed of representatives from the Government of Ghana and Goldfields. The Chamber is optimistic it will ensure transparency.
In transitions, a lot of things are put together. And also to assure government that look, companies have nothing to hide. So, I mean, if you push back, it means you have something to hide. But once we welcome it, and I think Goldfields also welcome that, to work with government for amicable solution, because there are bigger things ahead. This is not the only mine that they have. So I think it's a welcome development.
Government's effort to drive down Treasury bill rates have yielded significant results, with rates dropping dramatically from the mid-30s to around 15%. This move is aimed to reducing the impact of debt servicing on the public purse. However, concerns arose about potential further cedi depreciation.
Government strategy to lower Treasury bill rates was a direct response to the elevated cost of borrowing. Notably, government has successfully taken as much as it could, even in instances of undersubscription, despite concerns that investors would flee from Treasury bills into forex due to high inflation rates, currently at 22.4%, potentially leading to cedi depreciation. The opposite has occurred.
Well, that risk did not happen. The cedi has been relatively stable, because the fear was that if investors fled into forex, the cedi will now depreciate further. It seems like for now, the government has succeeded in what it wanted to do, in the sense that it has driven down the rates dramatically. Investors are still buying T-bills, giving the government money.
What are the factors driving the relative stability of the local currency? CEO of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, explains.
Our reserves have improved. Our position of reserves have gone all the way to 9.2 billion as at February. In addition, to be fair, the dollar has also not been doing that well on the international market. In the last 4 weeks, the dollar has depreciated by 9% against the basket of all the major currencies. Tariff 4 has driven price of gold very high. It's now over $3,500 per ounce. At the same time, because the estimates for global growth by the key agencies has been downgraded, the oil products we buy have not gone up as high as they could.
While the current scenario of lower T-bill rates and a stable cedi appears favorable for the government's fiscal management, the significant gap between the T-bill rates and the inflation rates remains a point of interest.
The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has launched an initiative to bring the digital economy into the tax net. According to Commissioner General Anthony Kwesi Sapong, the global financial landscape has shifted, impacting government's revenue mobilization strategies. The GRA aims to modernize its approach, going beyond traditional tax collection methods to capture revenue from the digital sector without overburdening existing taxpayers.
Businesses, instead of doing brick and mortar, are running businesses on the digital platforms where buyers and sellers do their trading. We do have many businesses which are also showing up in other online places. And in Ghana today, for example, if you want to find several service providers, you go to Instagram and you find them. How do we ensure that all of these people who are doing businesses, not in the physical brick and mortar but online, are able to come onto the tax net? And GRA, we have already commenced a program to bring on board the digital economy, because it is the business of the future. And if it is the business of the future, then the revenue for the future resides there.
Let's bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market. And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next, sports.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe. Yum.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Choco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
She's coming. She's coming!
Oh, it's in.
Red receipt now!
Boss, let's go back.
Here, take this.
She's coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming! Oh.
Is brought to you by
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
It's now time for the latest in the world of sports with the one and only Bill Ishan.
Hello, Martin. Hello, Portia. You're all looking very dashing. Very dashing, very beautiful.
The birthday boy is also here.
Yeah. Oh, it's your birthday.
Oh, stop
Martin, where's the party?
it. You look good as well.
Thank you very much.
Anyway. Thomas Partey, is he leaving? Is he staying?
Yeah, so the latest coming in is that Arsenal are negotiating a new deal with Thomas Partey. We'll talk about the terms in the story, of course, and some other stories. Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishan. Now, Arsenal are keen to retain the services of versatile midfielder Thomas Partey beyond the end of the current campaign, and have opened talks about an extension, according to Athletic journalist David Ornstein. The Ghana international is out of contract at the North London club in the summer, and it long appeared that the 31-year-old was set to exit. Partey has played 46 games across all competitions for Arsenal so far in 2024-25, featuring a right back if needed, re-establishing himself as a key player under manager Mikel Arteta after fitness issues limited him to 16 appearances last term. The former Atletico Madrid star will be open to an improved 2-year agreement or a 1-year deal plus an option to extend for a further 12 months. But he would also consider an exit in case agreeing to a new deal falls through. Now, good news coming from Spain, because Iñaki Williams scored a sublime goal to hand Athletic Bilbao a 1-0 win in their match day 33. Now let's go to local football, where Asante Kotoko earlier on Wednesday introduced Abdul Karim Zito as the club's new technical director and interim coach during a press conference at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. My colleague Emmanuel Owusu has the details in this report.
Zito is no stranger to Asante Kotoko, having won 5 league titles, 2 FA Cups and a CAF Champions League trophy during his playing days. The former under-20 national team coach signed a 2-year contract as technical director of Kumasi Bay's side. For now, he will serve as an interim coach and has been charged with winning the ongoing 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League and FA Cup titles. The Porcupines are presently 4th in the table, 6 points behind league leaders Bebieni Gold Stars. Zito acknowledged the difficulty of his new task but remains optimistic.
Before I entered into it, the coaching issue also come. So I have to take the double. We are going to do our best. We told them it's not over until it's over.
The veteran also told fans to focus on results for now as the team looks to regain its position at the top.
All what we are after now is to win, to see us back to the... So it's not about football now.
After leading Dreams FC to the 2023-2024 CAF Confederation Cup semi-finals, Zito has been one of the most sought-after coaches on the continent. He reveals that he turned down 3 huge offers in other countries before accepting the Kotoko role.
So this time around, in order to be clear with them, when they call, I say, oh, go to Secret. Not because he's the president of Ghana Football Association. The first coming of Kotoko, it was scared. I went outside to go, it was scared and Gigi.
Zito's first match will be against Adriana Stars on Sunday at the Baba Yara Stadium before traveling to Accra to battle rivals Hartlepool. Kotoko are winless in their last 4 games, and the pressure will be on the former Dreams FC coach to turn things round.
Moving on, John Andor made headlines in the opening day of the African Schools Football Championship with a brace for the Ghana's under-15 boys team. The left winger scored in each half to hand Ghana all 3 points against Uganda at the University of Ghana Stadium. On Thursday, Coach Kweku Danso's boys will face South Africa at 11 a.m. and Algeria at 3 p.m. to conclude the group phase. Meanwhile, Jennifer Awuku's lone goal was enough to seal victory for Ghana's under-15 girls over Morocco. They will now shift their attention to the next match against Malawi and Benin on Thursday. By way of updates, Arsenal are currently leading Crystal Palace in the Premier League by 2-1. Partey is currently playing in that game, and it's, of course, half-time. Bringing an end to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Ayisha, and there's more on the bulletin after the break.
When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between. On Ghana Tonight, it's our atmosphere.
An act she described as clear violation of intellectual property laws. She further called on the relevant authorities in Ghana to investigate and address the issue. Responding to the allegations, the CEO of the National Film Authority, Afridan Koshio, the filmmaker, that the matter was being treated with urgency. Hi, ma'am. My management and I are working on putting a stop to this. You should see definite actions in a couple of weeks, Kafui Danko wrote. Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations in Ghana, that is Sam George, also reacted, stating that the government is committed to upholding intellectual property laws and expressed hope for continued collaboration between Ghana and Nigeria. Now to some more stories, and with only 16 days to the big night on the TGMA Throwback, we are asking, did you know that rapper Kofi Kinata has won the TGMA Songwriter of the Year record 4 times? Well, the Fanti rapper won the category back-to-back in 2016 and 2017 with his songs Suzuka and Confessions, respectively. After 2 years of missing out, Kinata came back stronger to win the category in 2020 with his popular tune Things Fall Apart. And the prolific composer last won the category in 2021 when his song Behind the Scene was adjudged the TGMA Song of the Year. We'll definitely be giving you more of those as we gear up towards the big night. But that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you so much, Noella. Coming up, international news.
U.S. Senior Advisor for Africa, Masad Boulos, has said that President Donald Trump values Africa despite announcing sweeping aid cuts that have caused considerable humanitarian distress across the continent. Trump announced the aid freeze on his first day in office in January in line with his America First foreign policy,
while Trump's recent tariffs have raised fears of the end of a trade deal between the U.S. and Africa meant to boost economic growth. But Mr. Bulus downplayed reports that the U.S. was planning to close some of its missions in the continent. He highly values Africa and African people, Mr. Bulus said. Mourners are paying their respects to Pope Francis, whose body was moved from his Vatican residence to St. Peter's Basilica before his funeral on Saturday. The Pope's open coffin was carried on Wednesday morning in a solemn procession through St. Peter's Square, where as many as 20,000 pilgrims had gathered. As the coffin crossed the square, bells tolled and crowds broke into applause, a traditional Italian sign of respect. The Pope died on Monday, aged 88. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said his country would walk away unless Ukraine and Russia agree on a deal, echoing recent comments from U.S. officials. His warning came after London talks between officials from the UK, France, Germany, Ukraine and the US aimed at securing a ceasefire were downgraded after US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff pulled out. The US is focused on talks this week in Moscow, where Witkoff will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin for the fourth time. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky meanwhile said he insisted on an immediate, full and unconditional ceasefire.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you very much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu Dartey.
And I am Portia Gabo. Where's the party at?
Where the party did.
Good evening.
From bold pitches to high-pressure boardrooms, we have faced every challenge with determination, grace and growth.
4 outstanding young women, Jomo Na Moko Boche from the University of Ghana, Talata Mensah from Unimac IL, Sandra Jijom Zikbi from KNUST, and Yesuto Goku from Takrady Technical University stand tall as the finalists of the Top Intern Season 2. Now, the final test stands between them and the win. Who will emerge as the Top Intern Season 2? Don't miss the all-female grand finale of the Top Intern on Thursday, April 24 at the Avi Event Center at Airport View Hotel.
Top Intern Season 2, brought to you by Tampico, EcoBank.
No matter how situations change, we will always have our Charlies. Good times, tough times. We day for each other. We never settle for less, because we are Charlies. Charlie. Together, we are gold. Drink responsibly, not for sale to persons under 18 years, not recommended for pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Explore the nature and create from it. The spirit of inventors leads to the inspiration for new technology. By drawing nature's energy, we create the extraction tech. Small in size, huge in power. Millions of microcapsules condense the essence of nature. Join us, Cleasoft Invent for Life.